Hello, welcome to the third match of this season with SamE. This kingdom has stuff, quite a few things. You know, trashing draw by Courtier can hit knights if we keep any knights in our deck, otherwise probably Relic is the best shot there. There's of course lots of actions and draw between pathfinding and all this stuff, so no real challenge finding engine pieces. I don't really know what order you build anything in. You should certainly start with raises. Try and get yourself a little thin. It would be nice if there was a cheaper card that had dual types, but there's not. So I'm trying to think if we want to go with Raise Oasis or Raise Silver in the opening, or Oasis Stonemason double raise. That's probably bad, though it certainly trashes the fastest of all the things you could do. Well, maybe it trashes the fastest. It's not immediately clear that it will every time, but and of course you can just raise away the stonemason if you don't have any particular use for it at that point. So but I think I'll probably just go raise Oasis. Not quite ready to risk the stonemason. I guess you could go triple raise. That would get you thin very quickly. I'm not sure exactly what you want for your pathfinding target. Oasis would be fine. City quarter would be fine also for a pathfinding target, though it's not so easy to buy a bunch of city quarters necessarily, or at least not that quickly. You have a 5-2, which is quite nice. For me, I would probably, I might go with the Relic, though I can see just going ahead and getting Destry. He does Stonemason, that I don't especially care for. I don't like that opening at all. I don't understand it. I mean, I don't understand the native village, really, to be perfectly honest. But obviously he will be able to thin quickly. Maybe he wants native village to be his pathfinding target. I guess I can see that. This is not a super great draw. I mean, native village is a reasonable pathfinding target, I guess. So maybe it works out. He's certainly thinner than me. which is worth something. I have to figure out how I want to get thin. I feel like I'm just gonna buy Oases, but that's gotta be stupid. He's gotta buy some money sometime. I got a relic, I would like a courtier, and then I'm gonna start buying city quarters. And then eventually knights. He's got to add some money, right? I mean, he's got to be able to buy something other than twos. I think I would like to get to 5 again before I do this. Get to courtier before I hit the of course, I'm not getting to 5 this turn no matter what. So I might as well trash again. Though I can't unless I discard the relic. So I could... He gets a courtier. Maybe courtier's the better first 5 than the relic. I don't know. Not bad to just trash. I don't really want the silver, right? That's okay. Probably it's not okay, but he's gonna knight my courtier, yeah. Probably hit the relic too. I mean, if he has his knights, he'll get it again. He'll hit the courtier, of course. Wow. Okay. So here I can either take buy, which would allow me to... I think I need the gold. I can of course pop the gold here and probably buy a city quarter. We'll see if he takes Martin or not. If he doesn't take Martin, I may go with Councilor and Courtier. Depends on what his Natalie hits, of course. If it just trashes Sylvia, that's okay. What? This is the same hand I just had. I didn't get that hand. That's for certain. So he's gonna be able to finish the knights and finish me. He should be able to, well, I don't know exactly. There goes my city, my courtier. Yeah, we could just resign. I mean, you kind of feel like making him play it out since the piles are sort of lowish. But it should be pretty trivial to finish off here for him. In general. Yeah, we'll just resign. I'm not sure about his opening, but certainly better than mine. Or at least it all worked out quite nicer than mine did, which tends to indicate it was pretty good. Oh, no, other way. So that's one for him. So what time we've got? A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to play with. I'm gonna go Wishing Well, Sacrifice opening. Yeah. You can go Silver Sacrifice, it's fine too. Probably fine. You want to replace, I think for sure, most everything you want for sure. So this is not an especially exciting draw for me. I will hit, I mean, just keep taking Wishing Wells. It's not the best thing ever, but he had the same draw, and we'll see if he had the same draw. Next hand is a 5 for sure. Well, not technically for sure. But yeah, I mean, I could have got a Herald on my 4. Maybe that was better. Look at all these points we have. So he gets to mount a bank. I think it's an easy mount to bank on first 5, but so there's 1 copper in here, no estates, 2 more Wishing Wells. I already have the sacrifice, okay. So I could, that's just silly. Whatever I was considering is just silly. He buys another Herald. We'll just try and, nope. Heralds are fine. I think we're just gonna have so much junk. I mean, I certainly hope we have so much junk. I think this last thing's a wishing well, and I just want to leave it, right? I'm glad he trashed Curse. That's actually like totally fine with me. No, okay. Well, I can try for the city. That was nice. This will hit for sure. So the question, I guess, is whether... What did he buy on his turn? Just a wishing well. Whether it's nicer for me to trash a copper or a curse. I mean, the idea would be that the curse potentially could block some. Of course, the issue with the copper versus curse is that then you could miss a buy. So you have to weigh those considerations, but I'm gonna get the second mountebank here. That was an extremely lucky wish that I just made. This was an extremely lucky Herald hit for him because he's just got a bunch of garbage. They both hit. He's got a ton of garbage in his deck. I mean, but and a lot of actions too. It's not weird for a Herald to hit, but I think 2 in a row off the top is pretty weird. But it's okay. He still has an estate. I think I'm mostly just going to be on cities and try and give them the curses. I guess you can buy heralds and, well, no, that doesn't work. Well, no, it doesn't. It does not work. I guess he drew deck. Well, no, he's had to drop it. This is going to be annoying. It's one way of putting it. He gets his second mountebank. Yeah, okay. Not a lot of coppers left, so... Well, you know, pretty good number anyway. Still gotta wish for those. Okay. I like that. I'm for it. Question is whether buying a governor or a city is better at making sure I do that again. Probably the governor. The cities, of course, will be quite nice whenever we're well, if we get to that point anyway. We get to block here 1 anyway. If he plays 2, then we still take some, but I don't know here on the sacrifice what it should look like. If I should throw, or if I should sacrifice the wishing well. The wishing well is pretty good in my deck, to be honest. Oh, it was a city. Alright. Well, we hit him anyway, so that's good. And he didn't hit us, so that was also good. Those heralds, I'm telling you, they've been all right for him. So he's got he buys a city. Okay. Well, how many coppers did I play last time? Well, I had more, I just didn't. No, I had exactly 3. Okay, well. I'm trying to think what's left is like governor and stuff, or mountebank. It wouldn't be terrible here to just take golds and give them so there's like mountebank and copper left, or wishing well apparently. I guess I'm going to draw through. I don't know how fat exactly this. Maybe not draw through. Maybe just do a remodel into a city here. He had another one, so I'm still not like 100% sure about the curse trashing versus not. I'm gonna take a catacombs. Okay. So that's not too exciting. I'm going to want to green. See, he's just going with that. I mean, I could go sacrifice up to... I mean, there are a number of things I could do, but we'll just go with that. Oh, that's not too bad. This turn is fine. So eventually someone's going to get that curse out. Prefer it to be me. All else equal. There's a mountebank in here. No. I guess that's sort of the wrong order to do things, but... that was okay. Could have been like a replace or something. His deck should be just very fat, though. I was quite lucky with my wishing wells. I think we're about even on I'm not sure if I want to... discard it, actually, if I want that in the discard versus just taking a copper, which is okay. It's not great, but it's all right. I guess I'll discard it. He buys a province. Seems reasonable. Question here is whether I want to get a gold into the deck ahead of the shuffle, or if I plan to mostly just use them for draw and try and play those mountebanks a lot. No. I like my chances just buying provinces. I don't see any reason to work on the piles unless I have a, you know, like a clear win in hand or something. I mean, he'll probably be able to buy province most mini hands as well, but This is maybe a pretty awful shuffle for him. I'm not sure. So, in theory, I should probably have pretty good knowledge of the rest of the deck here, but I think in practice I'm just not going to. To say what the wishes should be back here. I don't even remember if I had drawn the province. Well, this is the province now, so. That's not particularly good. So I think there's, well, we know there's a mountebank in there. I don't know if there's a So you just bought a duchy. That's not gonna cut it. I could get another city with governor if I wanted to. Ooh, there's the gold. I think there's like wishing wells left. Okay. Well, we can just put these in hand. I suppose I could have tried to get the double province, but that doesn't seem really necessary. He sure has bought a lot of duchies. I hear the wishing well sacrifice may be the thing to do. No, it's not good enough. Alright, so that one went to me. I definitely got to severely junk him relative to what he gave me there. There was a curse block I got in there that was early, was quite fortunate. This is a high-powered board for sure. This is going to be a bit tricky. You could do a navigator for some early acceleration, though you won't really be wanting to play it much later on. You really just mainly want the highways and the grand markets, then you need the governors for draw, but mostly you want these highways. Certainly you'll play Governor Margrave, so the only thing the navigator would be for later is like a remodel target, which is not unreasonable at all. And of course then there's smugglers, which will potentially throw a wrench, although again, it's hard to occupy. It may be difficult to convince yourself that that's a good terminal spot versus Margrave. At least I think that would be kind of hard to justify, potentially. Anyway, I think the 3 is an easy silver. Masterpiece. Okay, I don't think you want a Changeling yet. So that doesn't really make sense to me. Why would you want a Changeling in your first shuffle? Unless you think you want another silver, but that's pretty confusing to me. I will admit. Of course, it didn't punish him. He still got the 5. I don't get it, but I got rotten shuffle. What? That's awful. He hit 5/5 with this, throwing this Changeling in there. That sucks. Anyway, this game is lost unless the shuffles start changing dramatically. Which that helps some. This has got to be discard all pretty much no matter what. I mean, it's not even really worth looking at. But he's going to probably get to Changeling something good on his turn. But we'll see. It gives me a silver. I mean, I'm going to take a Changeling. This is fine. This is still 5, so this doesn't hurt me at all. That discard attack. Presumably he has his Changeling, so that's going to be good for him. He may not, it may be the estate, but an estate. So he did not have the Changeling. This will be a governor for me. He buys a governor. This is a sad draw. I don't even know that I want the vagrants, like they're not actually any good. Right? I mean, they're pretty useless. They're not like completely useless, but fairly useless. I can just buy a Changeling. I mean, I could get 2 Changelings if I wanted a masterpiece. Whether that'll be sort of a gamble. It's probably a little greedy. You would be attempting to pair them with your governors, of course. Not your navigators. just to make sure that's clear. Not to pair them with your navigators. So this shuffle might be okay to trigger. Now he'll have his changelings, definitely. To be clear, I don't have a problem with this masterpiece trick. I just don't understand it on the opening. I mean, it's a good trick here. I don't understand how it does anything for you on the opening. I find it actually completely baffling on the opening, but well then, this is very not good. Well, okay. If we find a governor, like if he draws us up into a governor, it's okay. But otherwise, we don't want Margrave stuff. So, okay, this was not so bad because we do get governors here. So that was alright. I mean, that was okay. Now we need a highway or grand market for the other two changelings, which is going to be more challenging. I might go Margrave up into a grand market. Trying to think if he remodels what I'll do. It would be awesome if we had the navigator, but we don't. So he does go up to highway. I could go up to grand market, though it's still it would basically be giving him one super incredibly good turn by not attacking with him this turn. By not attacking him this turn. This really hurts to not have the Margrave. Or not the Margrave, the Navigator. Like, it doesn't, I mean, more Changelings aren't especially good unless I have a highway or a grand market. We know he's going to attack me. This is not going to work. The Changeling's not good yet, right? I guess we split the governors, but I'm surprised he's not getting a grand market. Maybe he just wants a couple highways. I mean, you can also green, although I think you lose. But I mean, you don't. He doesn't necessarily lose because he's got a nice enough deck. Pretty much all I want to do here is get a grand market up for remodel if I can. Or a highway. I would take either one. Prefer grand market. You can always like fast empty the changelings anytime with a masterpiece. So that'll be an issue once we get these piles down. If he's going to do it now, that seems pretty ambitious. That seems crazy to me, actually. I don't get it. You can't... I mean, you will get to use them eventually, but not that quickly. And in the meantime, they do get in the way of your draw a little bit. So I'm not really sure if that makes any sense to me, but... that was okay draw. I mean, he potentially can just pile, of course, but... that's not that likely. I have some bias. The changelings are so strange, or that many changelings to me is so strange. I can get another Margrave, I guess. Which is not super good or anything, but... I mean, if he draws enough of them, I guess he can just empty the highways. I guess he's drawn more of the deck than I was thinking, because, yeah, he'll just have a finish here. Is that not enough cards yet? Trying to get down... oh, I missed a copper. Yeah, he'll just have a win, I assume. I don't know exactly how many changelings he got last time. Quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 changelings. I didn't really have a point play to make. I could have not lowered the highway, of course, but I don't know that that was going to do anything for me. I guess he's really likely to draw that much after I draw him a little bit. I would have been worried about taking that many changelings, but certainly some number of them was fine. There's not a lot of building you can do. But anyway, there's a limited amount of building you can do, I would think. You can get... I think without the buys, it's just not there. Though you can, of course... I guess the thing to say is that there are ways to build up pretty big palace points here. It's not impossible anyway to do. Whether that's worth it is not obvious to me. If you're gonna build here, you would go like Moat Talisman or something. It would be not a very impressive deck, but nothing here is like especially impressive. You would want to play with some couple lighthouses. I mean, like, you can try to draw your deck, it's just not gonna... I don't know, you're not always gonna get there. You can try and you can have a Leprechaun, but that's pretty... that's not that impressive either. But on the other hand, nothing here is, so if you have a few of these things, it may be alright to go for them somewhat. The silver is maybe the hardest one to get extra copies of. Gold and copper, of course you start with 7 copper, but the golds are pretty easy. Variety of ways. This is so weird when I'm thinking of opening. It's probably really bad. But oh well, it's more interesting than just trying to play without this stuff. Typically I hate talisman, but it'll be more fun to do this way. He's probably thinking I had the 5-2 and why did I do my thing this way. I'm gonna buy a Soothsayer, even though it's a sad talisman. Sad talisman use. I can live with it. He gets a lighthouse, which is fine. I give him no curse this time. My talisman missed. That's okay. He buys a lab. The Leprechaun is so weird because I'll like never, I have to get lucky to actually activate it, but whatever. I have 2 golds. He has no golds. He'll probably double moat here. I'll double moat myself. I think. I don't know if it's worth it to be delaying the greening as we've been doing here. Like if you do lower the labs all the way, then oh, I miss it by a couple here. So he just buys a province, which I think is totally reasonable. I have to decide if I can take a hex here in order to pick up a gold. My talisman buy should probably be silvers. I'm up to 3 golds already. I don't know that 4 is all that. On the other hand, I don't know how bad the hexes are for me. They may not be that bad. We also may just buy, province every time. Well, he's not going to. He doesn't have any money, but he's not going to buy it every time anyway. But he may do it enough. I don't know. The Leprechaun has been a curse or a confusion so far for my deck. Which it was always likely to be. It was just a silly buy. But nice thing for me is I can take double silver a few more times if I want. At least one more. I don't know if I have 5 gold. Which is certainly a more robust way of greening than actually buying duchies and such. I didn't get any whatchamacallits down, fishing villages, so if he's gonna break PPR, now's the time to do it. I could still draw. I could be sad. I mean, I just have to find $1, but obviously I have lots of non-treasure cards in the deck still, so he just takes that. I don't think, well, I played a lot of my money, unfortunately, or I had drawn a lot of my money. I don't think there's any advantage to. I certainly feel a little better about a long game versus him. So I would, I would be happy to continue duchy dancing with him. And I'm taking duchy over silver because silver is an easier price point to hit. So if I need to do the silver later to maintain parity, I would rather use the silver. He'll probably break it now when I suddenly have a garbage hand. I mean, I don't really know what he's gonna do, but at least I get some fishing villages down, which is good. This is not perfect. I have to take the silver, which apparently is not worth points. But the soothsayer's here in hand, so that's something. He can, of course, do a duchy. I can do gain a gold and do tunnel. He didn't play a lighthouse, so that's good. I'm not sure what the play here is. So right now, gold's my limiting thing. I can just buy a tunnel here if I want. I never really stopped at looking. I'm not going to go for province with him having that. The question for me is whether it's worth it to play on the lab on the chance that I find some fishing villages would be the thing to find, I guess. Everything else that's shuffle triggering is not great to do, to trigger with the soothsayer out and with the talisman out and all these various things. But if I feel like, oh, these were all from his last turn. Oh, okay. Huh. Well, then that's less. I think I'll just do the tunnels. He'll break it now and it'll be the thing to do after all this time, and then he'll draw. Nope, he's gonna follow me all the way down this path, I guess. It's fine with me. I guess it's fine with me, I don't know. It hurt when I missed that one duchy turn. That was not ideal, but the Leprechaun is tempting. It's so tempting. It's gonna be... It would let me score 3 points this turn. But maybe not. Right? Because there's some very bad ones in there. And it would let me score another 3 down the line when whatever, I'm a gambler. Oh man, look at that. That's even nicer than I thought. Alright. Now I have another copper too, though I don't think I'm there on the coppers yet. He buys a tunnel. He's definitely committed to this. He doesn't have any way of... He's second player though. I was gonna just take the province, but how can he hit 8? To be honest. Next turn maybe. Next turn he might be able to do it. My Soothsayer is hiding, so that would have been a nice little bit of insurance there, but he could do it with a really nice draw on his next turn. It would have to be just a really lucky draw, but I could have taken Province and then he would have. There was no way he was going to tie, so in that sense it was probably pretty silly, but we'll see what he does here. He buys a silver, which I guess is to buy gold down the line. He may have done it. He may have he may have hit 8. I mean, I don't know. He's got a lot of green, but he may have just hit 8. No, okay, he didn't. Buys a Soothsayer, huh? That's interesting. Wow. Oh, I didn't know that was a third pile. I got super confused there. That explains more. I wonder if I had a win on the moats. I was not paying any attention, so probably I did. After the Leprechaun, I probably had a win on the moats. I was not cognizant of the piles in a useful way. What was empty? I don't know. I think I probably passed on a couple wins if there was 3 piles there to have. Seems extremely likely that I just totally whiffed on a win. I don't know though. I'm not the brightest crayon in the box. I'll have to, I don't know, maybe we were always tied, I'm not really sure. It was silly. Oh man. I did kind of like Palace there. I don't know what he's doing trying to green with no money, but it was very close, so obviously it wasn't too terrible. That, or, well, I should say it wasn't too much worse than what I did, which was probably also terrible. I guess you probably open Potion even though there's embargo, just because they'd have to embargo 2 things, and like you'll probably get one of them, and then you really don't necessarily need more than 1 copy of either one. It's not a huge deal anyway to miss them. And you probably do need the village at the least. So I would not try to use embargo to beat potion stuff here, at least. I mean, if he opens a potion, that's fine with me. I'm gonna I mean, even if he opens an embargo, I'm still gonna buy a potion. I don't see skipping it, so. Like, you could take upwards of 2 or 3 curses and it'd still be worthwhile to get in on that action. I'm pretty sure. So he gets an embargo. We'll see what he sticks that on. I'm not too worried about any of it, to be honest. Put it wherever he wants. I'm gonna buy Conspirator if it's not a Conspirator. Otherwise, I'll buy a silver. So he can do his thinking. There's not going to be like any asymmetry at this point that he can exploit. I'm not 100% sure that skipping familiar, I'm not really sure, but I definitely prefer Wharf to Tactician for first 5. I like Tactician okay, but what I really would like, he drew a great hand for it, so can't complain about that. What I would really like would be a expand. I mean, that's probably the point of the Tactician, but of course you can get to expand with other stuff, so. The bigger issue, of course, is just that I haven't seen any of my orange cards yet. He may not actually have $7. I hope he doesn't have $7. That's nice. He gets a second Tactician. Still have not seen any of my orange cards. Which is just, that's life. Maybe I only got 1 orange card before I shuffled, but I thought I got 2. I guess it was probably just 1. He's going to be pretty far ahead, especially depending on when he plays his Tacticians. Like if he's got a Tactician this turn, then I'm going to be more or less sunk. I would think. Gonna keep buying these Conspirators, though. They're not like that great. They're okay. They're alright. I would never gain one with University over the 5s, I don't think. I can't see that being good, to be honest. I mean, I understand he wants to buy and expand, but I still don't like it. I mean, you can embargo whatever you want, it doesn't matter. I can gain anything on the board except expand if you had bought expand. I would never buy an embargo, that's like really weird. It just gets in the way of everything you're trying to do. It kills me though that he gets to play the Tactician. Like that's gonna wreck me here, but I still don't like this embargo buy at all. It does nothing for you. At this stage the expand even is like limited use because we're gonna just run the piles. Again, I would never think the embargo was the highest value thing to grab with these universities, but versus some wars or something. Like they're fine. I mean, if you're really dedicated to this Tactician stuff, it sort of makes sense, but this is a nice draw for me. We're of course quite close to piles now, so he may have a finish on his turn. Wouldn't be surprising anyway for him to have a finish. Would have been nice to get the Tactician down. He can't be too far from a finish. If he's got a handful of conspirators anyway. I mean, I'm okay with the Tactician for the first 5 actually. I've come around more. The only bad outcome, I guess, is if you find it with your potion and you wanted to buy a university on that shuffle. But other than that, everything else is like totally fine, because you're just not buying anything useful on a turn that you don't have potion. So really, the only downside with the Tactician would be if that was your draw. But I'm sure he'll have a pile out here, like, and if not here, then the next turn. So he can, of course, province easily. If he doesn't have a finish right now, but like if he's got Tactician in hand, he can province and it's super safe. I'm not gonna get. No, he expands, huh? Well, he probably has more turns. He will most likely finish now. I'm trying to think if adding the groundskeeper is not. I mean, adding the groundskeeper is not going to be the thing that lets him pile. I don't think. If he's going to be able to pile, he's just going to be able to do it. Which I assume he will. I mean, maybe it'll be the groundskeeper. Gain. not impossible for that to be the difference maker. Yeah, I'm definitely on the side of his tactician stuff. Now he's gonna score some points, I think, unless he has a finish, which he might with expand. I don't know how many universities he has. I feel like I have a lot more universities than him, but I don't know exactly how many. He certainly has 2 more. I think it's 3, 4, so he can get 4. I don't know if he has enough groundskeepers in play. If he's out of draw, I'm not sure he has a win. If he can draw some more, then he probably can get a win still. I'm not sure he has. Well, maybe he has enough money. See, universities for the 2 of the 5s. And there's 4 5s left. He expands for 1 of the 5s. Then he would just need $15, $19. Oh yeah, he's got it easy. He just needs $19 to buy the couple of states in the. So the groundskeeper did in fact allow him to win this turn, although I'm certain he was going to beat me anyway. So we just have to wait for him to see the finish, which he does, so. Oh, this works too, of course. I'm not sure if he would have had one still or not without the if I hadn't taken that groundskeeper. Probably not, but I was sunk regardless. He can double province there and go from there. If he double provinces, I wasn't like trying enough to finish and win, I don't think. I don't think at all. But, so here we have the potential for quite a lot of building, though it's slightly awkward flavors of building. And the rebuild player has some things to help them. The gains are severely lacking on the side of the engine. So they would have to get buku amounts of wild hunting and plunder points to win, basically. They would need essentially all the forums, all the encampments. Soothsayer is going to be a bit annoying on both sides. Night Watchman, I mean, there's several things here which can help the rebuild player out. I think a few things. If there was a real village here, a real buy, you could maybe make it work, but you're gonna be so far down on points. I think. Maybe if you torment them, that's something. Well, you know what? It'll probably lose, but it's more interesting to build the engine. Certainly. So now the question is, what will I do it or not? Which would be a Tormentor gain, I think. Or a Soothsayer gain. I don't know. He goes with his Soothsayer as well. So what does Annex do? Of course, if we're competing, you know, if we're both doing this wonky engine thing, then it's not such a big deal. If he plays his Soothsayer, okay, let me think. If he plays his Soothsayer, then I want to not have this shuffle occur. So I just want to toss 2. So, oh yeah, but then that means that, well, okay. Yeah, it was stupid, but this is just me convincing myself to do something dumb. We'll see whether he has the Soothsayer or not. No, he didn't either. So he had the same shuffle or similar shuffle to me. Now he's got the same decision, but probably his Soothsayer's not bottom decked. My play would have made more sense if I had seen the Soothsayer in the 5. Then it would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, he's got this. There would have been some justification for it, but as it is, it just ends up looking really stupid, just really dumb. So I don't know why I bought a Relic. I really like Relic. I don't know if it's actually any good, but I just always buy a Relic because I like it. He buys a Wedding. That's fine. These are all certainly going. He's got, I don't really see the thing being worth the debt, but I guess if you know you have that much money on top, it looks okay, but if you don't know, it looks a little bit worse. Looks a little more dubious anyway. Probably here I will just buy a Forum. It could be a Tormentor. Imps are alright. Well, they're just alright. They're really not that good. Of course, we're going for this complicated thing. I don't know why we're going for this complicated thing, but we sure are. It looks really bad. Whatever we're doing looks awful. It looks less awful if it's uncontested, probably, but it still looks a little awful. That is a nice amount of gold. That there. You can buy a couple of forums. Maybe forum and a plunder. Seems pretty good to me. I don't know that this is going to be a shuffle I'm willing to trigger anyway, so I may just leave this old guy out. Okay. What's left? This could be a bad shuffle. Well, okay. It's made a little less worse this way. With just 5, I think I'm going to go with the plunder. Look at our terrible decks. They're really not good. You just want a lot of forums. Like a lot. Yeah, I think a second Night Watchman is fine. Particularly if you know something about what your next few cards look like. My silver was in the other hand, so yeah, this is this same problem or same question, whether it's better to get the plunders or the forums. I'm not at all sure. We're gonna have I guess I'm gonna go with the forum. Yeah, it's not great. I think before shuffle you probably prefer a forum. But really we could just be trying to, I mean if I had 8, I don't think I had 8, but it would have probably made more sense to buy a province if I did have 8. Maybe not. Hard to say, hard to say. He gets, I'll go ahead and get the plunder. I don't think like a plunder split is like meaningful necessarily. I mean, we're just gonna, he's hit these double 5s twice though, which is excellent for him, and I've never gotten even really close to that. But that's okay. I probably should just green. This is the silver. I'll probably draw 4 or 5 merchants here. This is pretty likely to just be kind of sad. There's a gold. Okay, it's alright. He should have a not great turn here, I think. Okay. That was true. Let's go ahead and get a gold into the shuffle. If I hit... No, there's no way. This will at least be a province. So it's a lot of pretty good stuff. he'll be able to province. Hopefully I'll be able to, but could easily miss. I guess I bottom decked my plunders kind of bad, but not sure. Here's a good shot at 8. Okay. So this is not probably a Night Watchman we can trigger. Well, we could if we threw good stuff in. What do we have? We have 9, 11, 13, 14. So we could, yeah. It's not a. I mean, the issue, I guess, is that well, the forum would be in there at least. The issue is that the bottom 3 are probably pretty bad. So, but this is a lot of good stuff. Another issue will be that once we hit, yeah, this is not good. The, I don't know if I've had a merchant give me any money. One thing we may run into here, once the curse is run, then you can just do, you can do form annex to win. Like a $10 hand just wins for you. I don't think I want a Duchess. So like if he hits $10 and plays the Soothsayer this turn, he can just win immediately. Or, I mean, if he had a plunder or two also, it wouldn't have to be, he wouldn't have to use the annex. But anyway, if he had $10, he can just win, like, right off. If he has the Soothsayer. So he doesn't have $10, fortunately, but yeah, this is gonna end poorly. I get an annex, but it's just a bunch of credit cards. Annex doesn't save me from him winning on a forum empty. Like a Night Watchman, but that's not actually that useful either. I mean, Annex might be the most useful thing, though my discard is pretty awful. Like, it's definitely awful. Though I guess that's not too bad with Annex. I'm not sure an Annex really helps me either. Or the Duchy helps me that much. I don't know. I don't know how this works. Let's shuffle all but 5, so. I can return encampments. That'll buy me a little bit of time, maybe. Ooh, he missed it by $1. Of course, he doesn't really miss it because he just buys a province. And Sayer play doesn't really help me. Is this 12 at least? I mean, I might as well play it if I have more than that. At least now the 3 pile's off the table, so we're gonna go through the provinces. I mean, I say at least, I'm still totally screwed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12. Okay, so I can play the Soothsayer, which I might as well. I don't care to track this that much. So if he can always just annex, I'm certain. But if it somehow costs him 2 turns, he'll just buy a duchy, in which case I won't be able to catch him. So he chooses to annex, that's interesting. I'm not sure that is worth the 3 debt, but maybe it is. Certainly his Night Watchman setup is going to more or less seal the deal for him. If I drew, I don't even have 3 plunders, so there's no way out. I probably don't want, oh, whatever. There's no trick here, right? He has to be able to not even buy a duchy, basically. He has to have absolutely nothing. Or he needs to be forced to like annex again. And I don't think he's at $11, but never mind, he did have that much money. He just had so much more money than me throughout the game. I'm not sure why exactly. So good games to him, 4-2 for him. I don't like what we did here at all, but it's hard for me to say. I don't know how I ended up such on the bad side of the Soothsayer thing. I maybe just bottom decked it a time or two. Well, I know one time I did it stupidly, but I mean, obviously it was going to miss that shuffle no matter what, or sort of, not no matter what. I could have played it, since he didn't have a Soothsayer, I could have just played it and it would have been back in the shuffle. Anyway, so that was certainly a bad discard from me on the Night Watchman. But other than that, it's not fully clear to me why this broke so hard in his favor this game. I mean, it didn't break that hard in his favor, but a little bit anyway. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you later.